Hi, my name is Charlotte and I'm from Bethel Community Church, Kenfig Hill and Maesteg. When I was younger, for the most part of my younger childhood, it was just me and my mum, my nan, my brother and my auntie, and it was always on a Sunday we'd go to my nan's house, after school we'd go to my nan's house. Very close, very immediate, and I was very shy and timid, and like in school I had like 2 close friends, and I didn't really want to bowl with anyone else. I always felt I didn't fit in, I always felt I was different, and that's just the way it was. For my older part of my childhood, I spent a lot of time in house parties, and it was sort of, I'd be in the room with the other kids and then the parents would be in the kitchen. That really opened my eyes and made me realise I really didn't want to drink, and that just wasn't, it put me off, it really put me off. So in 2017 I joined Bethel Church's youth club. I wasn't really meant to go there. All my friends like, I'm gonna go, and I was like, I'm not gonna go, because I was very shy, I was very anxious, and I was like, I don't want to go. And I can't remember how it ended up, but I did end up going, and I'm so glad I did. Just a sidetrack, the year before I joined youth, I had started like getting really anxious. It was almost as if I was self-destructing in school. I just didn't care, you know. I did anything to get out of school. I was on report. I just hated it, and I felt alone. I felt like no one understood me. I didn't know what I wanted to do after school. I completely just lost it a little bit. But for a few months of going to youth, the Louisiana Partnership, which is a partnership between churches in Wales and in Bridgend and Louisiana, they came over and they do like these little events, and at the last one in our church in Maesteg, I gave my life, which at the time I was sort of like, I meant it, but I sort of didn't really understand at the same time. And I think a few weeks after that, in August, we went to an event called Limitless and an encounter with God, and it was, I just remember I was crying all the time, and at the same time I didn't understand it as well. But after coming back from, you know, that and having that encounter and, you know, slowly understanding what it meant, I realised like this isn't just youth on a Thursday or anything. It was like, you know, you have to be all in. So I started going to church on a Sunday for the first time pretty much after that. So in September I started sixth form which I went to because I didn't want to go out of my comfort zone because I was so anxious and so shy of going to college. So I stayed in sixth form, and I stayed in that same place and environment, which really didn't help me. I got really depressed, I got really even more anxious. But through it, God taught me patience. He taught me to listen to him and trust him, and I had to search my heart and search what God wanted me to do. And I ended up the following year going to college and doing childcare. But around that same time, you know, all the friendship group were doing different things. Some were in college, a few were still in school, and everyone sort of drifted, and a lot of them weren't in church anymore. And because I was so anxious and so shy, I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to stay in church without them. But you know, God challenged me, and I challenged myself. I was like, am I gonna stay in this thing which is, you know, even in the space of a few months, it had brought me so far, and at the time I didn't realise it, but it had really changed my life. And I had to challenge myself, like, am I gonna stay and follow what I believe, or am I gonna go? And I ended up staying, and at the time it was really hard. It made me come out of my shell, which, you know, it was a good thing. I had depended on them and other people for so long. I had to come out of it, and, you know, the things were holding me back. I had to break free from that, and, you know, I'm still in the church now, and now I can look back and see how far I've come. Like, I'm not anxious anymore, I'm not depressed, I'm really enjoying where I am right now, and I've really learned from every single thing. I can see how God's used it for good, and I'm currently on my degree, childhood studies degree, and working in a school which is completely out of my comfort zone, and still I'm like, this is really out of my comfort zone. But before, I couldn't even speak to the church members in youth, let alone now be a teaching assistant in a school. So much has happened. I've got so much joy, so much peace, and I'm just so thankful for what God has done in my life. And I just really pray that he blesses you and that you just let him in. Thank you.